Welcome to One Little Spice, the Disney food podcast that isn't afraid to send you into the taste lab.
Welcome to episode 20. Why do we keep eating so much food all at once? Question mark, exclamation point.
Cutesy emoji symbol.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Amy.
Today, we are talking about a meal that doesn't exist anymore.
Oops.
It is a brunch. It is from Narcoossee's. We ate a lot. It was delicious, and we want to share it with you just in case they ever bring it back, because it's something that you absolutely have to eat.
If they bring it back, because it's amazing.
But first, yo, it's time for Amy's Daily Dish. Amy, what's your dish?
Let's dish.
Amy totally just danced along to that.
Item 1. Fun, spooky snacks at Disneyland.
Yay.
First off, there are churros everywhere. I'm not kidding. Everywhere.
At Disneyland?
In Disneyland and Disney California Adventure.
Come on, East Coast.
Make with the churros.
I want a churro.
There are pumpkin spice churros, s'mores churros, sour apple churros, churro sundaes.
Are the sour apple churros dipped in caramel sauce?
Believe they do come with a caramel sauce.
Mm.
Churro sundaes. One of them is a churro sundae with fruity pebbles on top. Churros with candy corn dipping sauce. I have no idea what that means because I couldn't find a picture for any of these. It's going to be really cool.
I want churros.
Churros with candy corn dipping sauce. I have no idea what that means.
Do you think they melted down candy corn?
I couldn't find any photos or anything.
Or maybe it's like frosting that's just the 3 different colors of the candy corn.
That would be really cool. It's probably the candy corn flavoring that they use in the
ice cream at Disney World. At Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yes. Maleficent churro. Really upset. Couldn't find a picture of this. If you have one, send it to me. If you don't have one and you live near Disneyland, go get one and send us a photo.
Hey, Jana.
Halloween colored churros. They had orange ones. They had green ones. They had purple ones because purple's a Halloween color when you put it with green and orange. And that's fine because purple should be everywhere. Okay, so the Maleficent churros, because
Julie's magical and can find everything.
magical and can find pictures.
All I did was search. It looks like it's got chocolate sprinkles or like cocoa powder and purple and green sprinkles of sorts. Not sprinkles, but like sugar.
So basically, go to Disneyland or California Adventures and you will be surrounded by churros. Just do it. Gonna be delicious.
I want to be surrounded by churros.
I also want to be surrounded by churros. Hint, hint, Walt Disney World.
Apparently at one point they had a sour watermelon churro.
Ooh. Well, then there was the pineapple and
they have a chocolatey cocoa churro.
Yeah, they were the pineapple Dole Whippy type ones. I want like a pineapple coconut one. But I want everything.
I think it would be awesome if it was pineapple dipped in coconut sauce. Remember we decided that?
Yes. Over in California Adventure at Pacific Wharf Cafe and Boudin.
Oh my god. Can we just talk about the s'mores churro for a second? Because the s'mores churro is coated in graham cracker crumbs, and then the dipping sauce is chocolate marshmallow sauce.
It's marshmallow sauce covered with chocolate on top, so there's like 2 layers, like the Jell-O pudding cups.
Oh my god, the chocolate in the vanilla. Yep,
yes,
that's exactly what it is.
Except it's probably not pudding.
Yeah, the Maleficent one is literally...
Oh, it's basically blackish colored. And
it's probably like cocoa powder or some sort of chocolate powder, and then it has the green and the purple, blue sprinkles on it.
Still cool.
And they give you...
It's probably just a basic icing or a cream cheese icing.
Yeah.
When they didn't list if it came with a dipping
sauce.
It
looks like a marshmallow icing. It's probably the marshmallow that they use with the s'mores one. That's what it looks like.
That would make sense. So, over in California...
Yep, marshmallow dipping sauce.
Excellent. Marshmallow dipping sauce.
Sorry, the Maleficent. The Maleficent churro comes with a side of marshmallow dipping sauce for an extra $1. Spend the extra $1.
Do it. Over in California Adventure at Pacific Wharf Cafe and Bowden Bakery, you can get Mickey-shaped bread loaves. This is something I didn't know about until very recently, and I'm very excited about it. Now, for Halloween time, you can get Mickey Fang bread, which is basically Vampire Mickey. It's so cool. It's not just a Mickey-shaped bread, but it has all his facial features and all that fun stuff.
And fangs.
And fangs. As a bread baker, I'm very excited, and now I want to make Mickey-shaped sourdough, so I'll add that to my list of winter bread baking stuffs.
Do it.
Do it. I will. And here is Julie, our rogue reporter, with a fun little story.
It's not really a story. It's just exciting news.
Exciting news.
We hit our 60 days for Fast Passes and made all our Fast Passes. Yay.
Yay. Fast passes.
That that just makes the vacation real. Like at 180 days, my spreadsheet is not full enough with our food reservations. But now that all the Fast Passes are in there too, it feels like our vacation is actually coming.
It is in 2 months.
Less than 2 months.
Less than 2 months. I believe that is it for the daily dish today, so let us move on.
That's it.
That's it. We're done.
So we're gonna talk about Narcoossee's brunch now.
Woo!
You know, continuing in the tradition of this month of breakfasts and brunches.
Mm-hmm.
And here is what Disney has to say about Narcoossee's. Delight in superb seafood, steak, and more in this waterfront hideaway. Narcoossee serves a spectacular, innovative selection of fresh seafood from both local waters and around the globe, including our popular whole steamed Maine lobster. You can't get that at brunch. For land-based fare, savor options like grass-fed filet mignon and the Black Angus New York strip, or enjoy the best of both worlds with a surf and turf dish that features sirloin steak and a lobster tail. And for a perfect ending to any feast, treat yourself to such scrumptious desserts as coconut chocolate creme brulee and the almond-crusted cheesecake with Lambert cherry sauce.
So I believe we went one of the last few weeks they were offering the brunch.
In January. It was in January when we went. This restaurant is really, 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 really cool. It is at the Grand Floridian, but it is not inside the Grand Floridian.
It's its own separate building.
It's basically like the Grand Floridian's boathouse.
Yes.
In theory. So it's almost like picture a gazebo.
Yes.
But ginormous and completely enclosed.
With a veranda to walk around.
So there's probably 4 of the 8 sides of...
I think there's more than 8 sides, but let's, for argument's sake, say there's 8
hypothetically.
sides.
So 4 of the 8 sides, theoretically, are all windows. And you can see the Magic Kingdom and Cinderella's castle. It's pretty awesome. And you can watch the fairies go by as you're eating. And we were there on probably the most beautiful, clear, wonderful, not too cold day. Because when we were there in January, we were there and it was freezing. But it was awesome.
So inside, the windows have these giant shutters. And they don't actually function and shut. I know because I asked, because I'm weird that way. But they're really neat to look at. So they have tables near the windows, and you want one of those if you can get it. If not, the tables not directly next to the windows are still nice, and you can see out the windows, but there's people in front of you. You can exit the restaurant and go take a walk on the veranda without having to fully, leave the restaurant. There is a doorway to go out and walk on the veranda and whatnot, while you're still eating. Or if you want to take a quick little lap or whatnot. You can see, as we said, Magic Kingdom. You can see the Contemporary. If you turn your head, you can see
the rest of the Grand Floridian.
I was going to say the rest of the Grand Floridian, maybe a little bit of the Polynesian and the Ticket and Transport Center over there. But mainly it's Magic Kingdom and the Contemporary.
And the day we were there was literally not a cloud in the sky. I got such awesome pictures of the ferry making its way from the Ticket and Transportation Center over to the Magic Kingdom. All right, so this was another brunch that was similar to California Grill. And if you, similar and different all at the same time, if you remember us talking about the California Grill, we talked about how we were able to try a bunch of different options.
Okay, so there's a pastry basket for the table.
Yes.
Or also you get a specialty beverage, either a mimosa, prosecco,
We did
signature
mimosas, right?
Bloody Mary.
Or did we? Oh, we started with the Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I believe they let us like switch over, and I think you could at the time have more than one, just like at California Grill. Except this, you had a couple different options. We, I believe, started with the Bloody Mary and then got a mimosa. So they brought a pastry basket to the table, which is something normal. They had hibiscus flower butter.
Oh my
and
gosh.
a seasonal jam. It
It
was
was so
super
delicious.
tasty.
Oh my gosh, it was so amazing.
Now appetizers, they give you a choice of one appetizer. We got 1.5. I believe. Oh no, we got 2. I think. 'Cause I believe we got
we each
the
got the crab and
soup.
corn soup.
So at the time we went, the appetizer options were Brentwood corn and crab soup. It was amazing, and I want to drink it every day.
Oh my gosh, it was like jumbo lump crab pieces. It was the most incredible soup you would have ever had in your entire life.
So when you have a perfect ear of corn, and it just has that perfect corn flavor,
It's
and
like that sweet
sweetness
and crisp and
all
fresh and magical.
amazing.
And they literally take, it's almost like a corn soup that they add just this giant pile of jumbo lump crab to
Yeah, it's
right before they serve it to you.
Yeah, it's a very simple presentation, but it's way better than if they had stirred it all in.
And then there's some like other corn pieces and some fresh herbs.
The corn soup is like a bisque, a puree type soup. It's really tasty, beautiful texture. The next option was shrimp and grits, which is creamy antebellum grits, green tomato chow chow, and cherrywood bacon. A chow chow is similar to a relish, if you're not familiar with it. They make it in various parts of the United States, also Nova Scotia, where my family's from. Salmon roulette with fine herb bavarouse, served with whole grain cranberry baguettes. So it's a salmon roulette. Roulette. Seasonal artisanal cheese selection, 4 tasting portions from around the world with prosciutto and accompaniments. I can't remember what the cheeses were, but I'm sure they told us.
I have a list.
And
I
they
have
were
a picture of it.
delicious.
Don't you worry.
She has a picture of it, so we'll talk about that or post it. And a romaine salad, which is tender leaves of romaine, marinated half-dried tomatoes, shaved pecorino romano, garlicky focaccia, croutons, and creamy Caesar dressing. All of it is amazing. And so, yeah, like we said, we definitely had more than one because we had the corn and crab soup each, and then got a couple other things, and they did not have any problem with that.
All right, so with the appetizers, we both got the crab soup, and then we shared the artisanal cheese selection because we didn't want to fill too much up on it. We didn't want to fill up too much on that, so we
That's
didn't
true.
get the fourth appetizer. We didn't get the salmon roulettes,
I think you
which
wanted it.
makes
but,
me sad
but,
because
yeah,
I love me some salmon roulettes. But
yes. But we needed to keep room.
artisanal cheese plate was absolutely perfect. The presentation was gorgeous. It was on a few slices of like spread out prosciutto, and then there were 4 different cheeses on the corners, and there was honeycomb, and it was some sort of compote
Yes, that
of
was
sorts.
a fruit comp.
But, Midnight Moon. We sell that. And the Gorgonzola Dolce. So, it was Midnight Moon, which is a goat cheese. And it is nutty and brown buttery up front with long caramel finish. And it's made from pasteurized goat milk, salt, cheese cultures, and vegetarian rennet. It's magical. It's delicious. We sell it at Wegmans, so if you want to try it, go for it. There was also a Red Hawk, which was a triple cream. And it was soft, fully flavored cheese made from organic cow's milk. So, it's a brie. And aged 4 weeks and washed with a brine solution that tints the rind a sunset red orange. It was a little sunset red orange. And then the Gorgonzola Dolce, which means sweet in Italian. It is a Gorgonzola Dolce GOP, is a soft blue buttery cheese made with uncooked cow's milk. The cheese took its name from the small town in Lombardy near Milan, where it's said to have been born in the 12th century. And then Barely Buzzed was espresso and lavender hand-rubbed cheese with subtle notes of butterscotch and caramel made from the milk of Jersey cows. This is a full-bodied cheese with a smooth, creamy texture, and they were all delicious. So like Amy was saying, they have a signature Bloody Mary, and this Bloody Mary was served with a crab leg in it.
And it was amazing because
And
it
then
was
we
served
got-
with crab leg in it.
And then we got Prosecco's. And then we got mimosas.
Prosecco's.
I was reading Prosecco and mimosa together.
Prosecco, which is funny because mimosas have Prosecco in them.
They do.
Yes.
But yeah, it had a shrimp, a cold shrimp that Amy likes,
Yes.
and a blue cheese stuffed olive, a giant crab shell leg sticking out of it, and a giant piece of celery. So the entrees are a brie French toast with caramelized Ferrell pear and fig chutney with whipped mascarpone. That might have been the same chutney that was on the cheese plate. That makes sense. Croque madame, which is toasted ham and cheese on brioche with fried egg and sauce mornay. The lobster eggs benedict was a house-made chive biscuit with butter, poached Maine lobster, pit ham, soft poached eggs, and citrus hollandaise sauce. Chicken and waffles, which is crispy fried boneless breasts and thigh with creamy collard greens on a waffle with maple bacon bourbon jam, house-made apple butter, and candied walnut crumble. My omelet, which is a cage-free brown egg omelet with choice of applewood smoked bacon, pit ham, butter poached lobster, chorizo, country sausage, tofu, spinach, tomato, caramelized onions, mushroom, roasted red pepper, cheddar cheese, Gruyere cheese, or soft goat cheeses. So basically, literally anything you could ever possibly want in these eggs, you could get in them.
So I want to know if anyone ever ordered all of it.
That sounds gross.
I know, but it's a lot. But I want to know if anyone's ever ordered all of it.
I would probably get lobster and Gruyere, maybe some goat, caramelized onions.
Side of bacon. But
Tofu does sound pretty good in it, but I feel like tofu has the same texture as egg, so that would be weird.
Yeah.
Pan-roasted Alaskan line-caught halibut, which is potato, bacon, hash, wilted greens, and warm mustard vinaigrette. And then the steak and eggs, which is black Angus hanger steak, 2 cage-free brown eggs, any style, marble toast, home fries, marble potato home fries, and truffle aioli. So,
I think I got that.
Here's how this went down. I wanted the lobster eggs benedict, but I also wanted the pan-roasted line-caught halibut. So instead of getting a whole order of the lobster's eggs benedict, which is 2, I got half an order, which was just the 1, so I could still enjoy it because that house-made chive biscuit sounded amazing. And I got my pan-roasted Alaskan halibut over the awesome potato bacon hash and deliciousness.
Because we both wanted that to share.
Because Amy wanted to try it too. And then Amy got the steak and eggs, which of course we were going to share as well. And actually, I think we both got the fish.
Yes.
And then so this was weird. So we got this a half a steak and eggs, or maybe we got a whole steak and eggs because that's 2 eggs. But we got the steak and eggs to share, and we got the lobster eggs benedict, just 1 little piece. And then Amy and I each got the halibut, and then we ordered an extra side of the marble potato home fries because I didn't realize how many came with the steak and eggs. 1, they were amazing, so it was okay because we ate all of them anyway. But we ordered a lot of food, and it was all amazing. Let's talk about the lobster's eggs benedict first. So this chive biscuit was perfect. It was light and fluffy, but still dense the way you want a biscuit to be. It wasn't dry. It was chivy, but not overly flavored with chives. And then the lobster was so fresh, which always makes me a little skeptical when I order Maine lobster so far away from Maine. But they did an excellent job with that. The poached eggs were perfect and runny and magical. The hollandaise sauce was insanely delicious. I asked for extra, as I always do with all of my sauces, because I want to drink them all by themselves. But they put so much lobster on this thing. And I ended up just kind of eating most of the lobster off and trying some of the biscuit because you can't waste lobster. That's just ridiculous.
No.
And we ordered way too much food.
Way too much food.
And then the halibut was insanely delicious, and I really enjoyed how it was presented because it was on top of the potato bacon hash with wilted greens, which was, some spinach and some other greens in there, and then the warm mustard vinaigrette was super delicious, and that was drizzled over that kind of salad, the warm salad that was underneath it. And the halibut was cooked really perfectly. It had a nice caramelization and crispiness on the top, but throughout the whole thing it was nice and firm the way it should
Yeah,
be,
it was
and it
moist
wasn't
and
like
flaky.
falling apart
Yeah.
and
It was the good kind of flaky.
exactly, so that you could
Not-
still get your pieces of it and not like have to like spoon your fish.
Yeah, you could put a fork in it. It's gonna flake away from the big piece, but it's not gonna like fall off onto your plate in like 18 pieces.
Exactly. The steak and eggs were fabulous. We obviously ordered sunny side up because who doesn't want a runny yolk?
Mm-hmm.
And then the steak had a delicious like butter sauce on top of it. I don't know if it was a truffle butter or what it was, but it was magical and delicious.
Amazing.
And the steak was like seasoned perfectly. It was cooked perfectly because Amy and I like ours on a little of the raw side.
We are big fans of rare.
But it was so delicious. And these potatoes, like, I've never had potatoes this amazing in my entire life. And that's saying a lot because I eat a lot of potatoes and they're all delicious. But truffle aioli, like, you can't go wrong with truffle aioli. And the home fries themselves were flavored amazing.
Yeah, they were just so tasty.
And add truffle aioli. Did I ask for extra truffle aioli? I'm sure I did because...
You didn't, or you may have. I don't know.
Or maybe they had enough. I don't know. But even the pastries were really good. I don't think I have a picture of just the pastries, but I did take a picture of the butter and the jam that came with the pastries.
I believe I took all the extra pastries and put them in my bag.
You did, and then we forgot about them.
No,
We didn't forget about them in your bag. But, like, we took, like, you were like, I want this one. And then I was like, I want that one. And then we were like, oh, we don't really actually want to carry all of these around. So you ate yours. And then we kind of didn't keep the rest.
Yeah, because I remember it was either a regular or a chocolate croissant. And I had a dream about eating a croissant earlier.
There's also a piece of bacon in this Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm. And in the dream, I remember being really upset because I just, like, shoved the croissant down my mouth. Or in my mouth, down my throat, and didn't like.
I remember this
savor
story.
and
You actually
enjoy
told
the
me this
croissant.
story while we were at brunch.
Yeah, because it was just I ate that croissant. I ate a croissant and I didn't even enjoy it.
Yeah, it was two croissants, and then the muffins were like blueberry with some like sugar crystals or something on top of it. Yeah, the pastries were also insanely amazing. But
yeah, the pastries would have been made at the Grand Floridian Bakery, so they're gonna be amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure. I know the Grand Floridian has one, but there are several of the deluxe resorts that have their own bakery. They don't all have their own bakery because each bakery will make baked goods and pastries and desserts for not only a bunch of other resorts, but also for some of the table service restaurants in the parks. So Grand Floridian is one of the ones that has their own.
Oh my gosh.
They also make wedding cakes there.
And anniversary cakes.
Yes.
So, after all of this food, which we did a pretty good job. I mean, we know how to eat, so.
We were full to the brim, but
then they come out with this dessert. And it's a little dessert trio. It's super cute. It's small pieces. The presentation is insane and amazing and magical and wonderful. And it is a Valencia blood orange bar, which I feel like was a little too sweet. The triple chocolate cake was insanely amazing. And then there was a lemon blueberry timbal, which was super delicious. And I think I remember it. Like, the orange one was really good, but I think the orange one was just a little too sweet for me. And then it comes with this amazing white chocolate tweel of sorts, like curl.
It's a curl,
and
it's a tweel.
I think we sat there for probably 15 minutes deciding how they made it.
Yeah.
And then we asked the woman, and she had no idea. But
yeah, it was strange because so normally what you would think is, okay, they would spread it out on a piece of acetate and
curl it while it's still a little wet.
But
and then peel it off after.
But it wasn't flat like that.
It wasn't flat on the inside. It had a curve. So then we thought maybe they took some sort of like tool to shave it, but then it really wouldn't have stayed together, and so we had no idea how this was made.
We still haven't figured it out.
I guess that's all we have to say about this. It's tough because I don't want to say too much because it'll make people really sad that they can't do it, but this was one of my favorite meals.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that we got to do it before it closed.
We've never eaten at Narcoossee's other than this brunch, But based on this brunch, I would say we definitely do have to go have a dinner. If they do lunch, we could do a lunch. I don't know if they do lunch.
I don't know. But I remember this is one of those ones that I was
Just
so
dinner.
excited
It's
about
just dinner.
brunch, and we booked it, and then after we booked it, we found out that it was like literally one of the last weeks that it was going to be.
Yeah, it was either, I think it was one of like the last, it was the last weekend because they were only doing it on the weekends.
Yes.
So it was either that weekend or the following was the absolute last. But yeah, based on our brunch, we absolutely will have to go back and do dinner at some point.
Because Maine lobster bisque, I bet, is
Yes.
almost as good as that corn bisque.
We recommend to you, if this delicious brunch sounded amazing,
Go there
you
for
should,
dinner.
check it out for dinner.
Because they do have a cheese selection and shrimp and grits, barbecue grilled shrimp and grits. And then after we ate, well, I think this was halfway through eating. Amy and I needed a break to walk around, so we each took turns walking outside and walking down by the water. And you can walk up to the dock where the boats dock from the Magic Kingdom. And it was just really pretty to kind of walk outside and get a breather before we finished our meal.
Yeah, we literally halfway through the meal. First, Julie got up and walked around.
Just so they wouldn't take our food away.
Yes, we didn't want them to take our food away. That's why we didn't both go at the same time. I'm sure if you and the entire party wanted to get up and walk on the veranda and come back, that'd be fine.
I would just let them know.
And I would just let them, exactly. But we were paranoid and didn't want them to take our food. This is also one of the restaurants that has a dress code. Guests are asked to adhere to a business casual dress code as a signature dining experience. Dressier attire is also welcome. Please explore the minimum dress code requirements. Men must wear khakis, slacks, or dress shorts, and a collared shirt. Jeans may be worn if in good condition, and jackets are optional. Women must wear capri pants, skirts, dresses, or dress shirts. Jeans may be worn in good condition. Not permitted in the dining room are tank tops, flip-flops, swimsuits, swimsuit cover-ups, hats for gentlemen, cutoffs, torn clothing, and t-shirts with offensive language and or graphics. And as we've
So
said,
pretty much any signature dining dress code.
yeah, and as we've said before, when they're referring to flip-flops, they're usually referring to
Nike like flip-flops.
yeah, athletic flip-flops,
Not like
beach
dressy flip-flops.
not like sandal flip-flops.
Correct. So we really loved it here.
We really did. It was a lot of fun. I hope that they bring back brunch someday because
It was amazing.
I miss it and I want it back.
But yeah, the atmosphere was wonderful. It's very nautical. The colors were like navy blue and white. It was a lot of wood. There was some art on the walls. But it was awesome. And if you get a chance to go to Narcoossee for dinner, do it. The food is phenomenal. The waitstaff was phenomenal.
Floor manager came around and was chatting with us. That is how I found out that the shutters did not in fact shut, because looking at them they looked like they could, and I honestly feel like they probably could.
And we discussed
had
it like,
to.
hey, did those come down like for any sort of storms or hurricanes?
Yeah,
And
because Florida is prone to getting hurricanes. And they said no, they do, when the storm gets really bad, they will board up the windows, but they didn't bring down the shutters.
And now for this week's Disney fan favorite food. This one comes from Michael. If you don't know who that is, it's Amy's boyfriend. Though I've only been to Disney World once, and admittedly my travel companions were quite disagreeable, some of my best memories, despite the company, was the food. Whispering Canyon, Yak and Yeti, and all the bars at the time, Downtown Disney, were great. But the park, for more than one reason, that really captivated me was Epcot. Being a brewing professional, I was naturally excited to see what beers each of the World Showcase pavilions had to offer. But what I was not prepared for was the scale and variety of world cuisine. I was able to eat foods I had never heard of before, nor today do I remember their names. Bistro de Paris, figured we'd go into, French, a.k.a. Monsieur Paul's, was more than likely the most upscale fancy dining I will ever in my life experience. Except he's dating Amy now, so that's probably not the case. However, that is not my most fond memory of all the wonderful culinary adventures I was privileged to. I will preface my next point by stating, for the record, I come from a German background. However, German food was rarely cooked in my house growing up. My grandmother was no Julia Child of German cuisine, and she passed that ungift down to my mother. So naturally, as I grew older and developed an interest in my own cultural roots, I became more and more curious to try German food. real German food. I had tried brats and sauerkraut, of course, but Krautsalat, Spätzle, Wurstsalat, Blutwurst were all divine treats at Das Biergarten. Added to the experience were the half-liters of Warsteiner and Weinsteppener beer, and musical show, which truly immersed you in what was an extremely enjoyable and satisfying experience. Whatever issues I had with my travel mates melted away as I drained away several Wartsteiners and several plates of the best German food I've yet had. The moon projected overhead and the boisterous polka music fully transported me to Bavaria or Munich. I sang along to several songs, pounded my table, and hoisted my stein. Carefully, they were very full. And before I knew I was speaking German to the cast members and dancing at my table. Throughout the rest of my time, specifically at Epcot, I ate and drank at many of the World Showcase destinations. And though I recognize I may have been slightly biased, Das Biergarten was undoubtedly my best experience at Disney World.
And this is why Das Biergarten is currently on our blacklist, because when Michael and I go, we want him to be able to show me something I have never experienced. Because I've experienced a lot in Disney.
True. So eventually we'll be able to tell you all about Biergarten, but not yet.
Someday.
I feel like I'm so loud today.
No,
like my mic is like exceptionally working hard. Anyway. So that is our favorite food from Michael today. Thank you, Michael. So if you have a favorite food memory and you want to share it with us, please do. You can send us an email to onelittlespice@gmail.com. You can share it on our pinned post on Facebook. It's right at the top. We want to hear all about all your awesome Disney food experiences, whether it is in Disney World or Disneyland California or Disneyland Paris or the Disney Cruise Line, or you got a Mickey frozen pop from the freezer and it was delicious in your own home.
Disney on Ice.
Ooh, Disney on Ice. We had some fun treats at Disney on Ice.
I love their snow cones.
They were so delicious.
I
got
so
it in a
many.
Bell Stein thing. Right? Wasn't that one though?
Yes, you got a Bellstein.
I don't know where that is.
I have like 3 or 4 different.
I got my Bell Tiara there.
Yes, you did. You did.
See? Food memories from Disney Food on Ice. We got them. We are on Patreon. We are doing a 9-part series on the Food and Wine Festival. So we give you all the details about all of the food, as well as some awesome tips and tricks on how to really enjoy the festival as best you can, especially for those who've never been there before. We offer some really awesome tips. So that is at www.patreon.com/onelittlespice. Choose your support level and you get some really awesome exclusives from us. We're on TeePublic, so if you want a One Little Spice t-shirt to wear at the Food and Wine Festival, or just to wear in life, or you want a mug, or a notebook, or a sweatshirt, because it's getting into the cooler months now, we offer those. It's TeePublic, the description, I always say that. The website is in the description, or if you search One Little Spice on TeePublic, you will find us. We're on YouTube. We have a few videos up on YouTube now. It is the Taste Lab, so search for the Taste Lab and subscribe. We make some Disney recipes for you. We recreate some Disney food recipes for you, and we help you bring Disney magic into your kitchen. So that's something that we love to do. Make sure you hit subscribe so you're up to date on all the latest videos. We have Les Celliers cheddar cheese soup. We have the vegetable terrine from Akershus. We have the Cobb salad from the Brown Derby in MGM. We had a dish from Morocco, but I'm not a big fan of how that one came out, so we will be redoing that one in one of the winter months when we have more time to put more love into it, so you'll be able to experience that. This month we are doing the Tonga toast from the Kona Cafe, which we will be talking about on next week's episode. We are really excited about that one, and Amy has even ordered some of the Kona coffee so that we can make some of the French press coffee for that. So we're really excited. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on those. And last but not least, thank you so much for listening. And just remember, every recipe starts with one little spice.
Woof, 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 woof.
I clicked something. Okay.
What did you click?
I don't know. Something bad. I believe.
I believe in a thing called love.
Oh yeah, the chess table. Malp.